8 years ago, she agreed to drive across the country with her friend to visit her grandparents in Kansas. Normal trip, long drive, nothing unusual, until about 2 hours from the grandparents' house when her friend got quiet, then nervous, then started explaining what she called standard operating procedures for visiting her family's home. What to do if you see something, what not to do, where not to go alone, what to ignore and what to take seriously. She listened and told her friend she was being paranoid, that whatever she thought she'd seen growing up was just a child's imagination running wild, that none of it was real. Her friend looked at her and said quietly, "It's not just me. Every single person in my family has seen them. Every one of them except my grandparents." She didn't know what to say to that, so she said nothing. 2 hours later, they arrived. The grandmother welcomed them warmly, showed her to a back bedroom, hand on the door to close it, and then stopped, looked at the room for a moment, then looked at her. "Maybe you shouldn't stay in this room." No explanation, no reason given, just quietly escorted her to a different room and said goodnight like nothing had happened. She told herself it meant nothing. She was wrong. The first night passed without anything unusual, but night 2 was different. It was around 11 p.m. Her friend had fallen asleep on the couch watching television. She could see her clearly from the adjacent bedroom. Just her friend, the blue glow of the TV, completely still and peaceful. She fell asleep watching her and woke up at some point in the night to find a man standing in the doorway. Old, gray, still. He had his back to her, facing out toward the living room, toward her friend sleeping on the couch, just standing there, watching her friend sleep. He looked like the grandfather, but it wasn't the grandfather. She knew immediately it wasn't the grandfather. She decided to get up. Something slammed her back into the bed. Not pushed, not nudged, slammed, like an invisible force hitting her with enough weight to pin her completely. She tried again, same thing, slammed back down. And each time it happened, a voice repeated the same words directly to her. Put a seal on the door, over and over. Every attempt to get up, the same words. Put a seal on the door. She stopped trying to move. She snapped awake, 3 a.m. Room completely normal. No man in the doorway, no voice, no force holding her down. Just a dark, quiet room in a house in Kansas and her friend asleep on the couch. She got up and started pacing, trying to figure out what had just happened. Whether any of it was real, whether she had dreamed the whole thing, or whether something else entirely had just occurred in that room. She looked over at her friend on the couch. Her friend's eyes were open, staring directly at her. And she said 2 words. "You seen it." She grabbed her friend and said one thing. "Get in the car. I cannot be here right now." They drove to the nearest Walmart and sat in the parking lot for 4 hours. 4 hours of her friend finally telling her everything. Every experience every member of the family had ever had in that house. Every story that had never been spoken about outside the family because nobody would believe them. And she sat there and compared every single detail to what she had just experienced herself. By the time the sun started coming up, her nerves had settled enough to go back. The grandparents were awake when they returned. She sat down and told them everything. The man in the doorway, being slammed back into the bed, the voice repeating the same instruction over and over. The grandparents listened quietly, and then the grandmother nodded and said, "Yes, that's strange. We usually seal our doors with a prayer every night. With all the excitement of you arriving, we must have forgotten." Just like that, completely calm, completely matter of fact, like this was a known thing, a routine precaution. Something you do every single night in this house, because if you don't, something will come in and stand in your doorway and watch whoever is sleeping. They forgot one night, and something walked straight through. She went into that house a skeptic. She left knowing that whatever happened in that room was completely indistinguishable from reality. More real than any dream she had ever had, more physical than anything her imagination could have manufactured. She still doesn't know what the old gray man was. She still doesn't know what slammed her into that bed. She still doesn't know what would have happened if she had managed to get up. But she knows one thing with absolute certainty. Whatever lives in that house in Kansas The grandparents know about it, and every single night before they go to sleep, they ask God to keep it out. Please like and subscribe.